This is the Motorola Moto G Stylus 5G 2023 disassembly. If you're interested in seeing more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. And if you need any tools, there are links in the description. To start off, the SIM tray needs to be removed. Here's a better look at that. We'll also go ahead and remove the stylus. Next, heat needs to be applied to the back plate to loosen up the adhesive underneath, and then a plastic pry tool can be used to pry the back plate off. Here's a better look at the plastic backplate. Now some more heat needs to be applied on the camera bezel to loosen up the adhesive underneath, and then the camera bezel can be pried off. At this point, there are 16 Phillips screws that need to be removed. The glass camera lens covers can be replaced by applying heat and prying them off, so you don't need to take apart the phone to replace those. The LED flash is located here. The NFC antenna is drawn on this plastic piece, as well as other antenna lines, which are the light gray color lines. Here's a look at the other side. The graphene or graphite film can now be peeled off, and the graphite film helps to transfer heat. The battery cable can now be disconnected, followed by the rest of the cables. The two coaxial cables on the bottom right side of the board can be disconnected by popping them off. There's a single Phillips screw which is holding down the main board. Looking at the main board, there's a 50 megapixel primary camera and an 8 megapixel ultra wide plus macro and depth lens. There's a secondary microphone on the top corner and some copper tape on the shields to help transfer heat. The SIM card and memory card reader is located on the back, the proximity sensor is located on the top, and we have a look at the 16 megapixel front facing camera. The camera connectors can be disconnected by just popping them off. There's more copper tape on the back shields, as well as some thermal paste. Once the copper tape has been peeled back, we can see more thermal paste underneath on top of this chip. Once the thermal paste has been cleaned off, we have a better look at the processor. There's some more graphite film over the speaker assembly and some more antenna lines drawn on it. And here's the speaker itself. There's a single Phillips screw which is holding down the subboard. There's a black rubber gasket around the charger port, and the headphone jack is located here. Taking a look at the other side, the main microphone is located underneath the shield. There's also a liquid damage indicator sticker, which is that white sticker. Now it's 2023, and Motorola still isn't providing any pull tabs or pull pouches for the battery. So in order to replace or pry the battery off, we're going to have to use some isopropyl alcohol and apply some around the edges of the battery and let it sit for about 30 seconds to a minute, so it eats away at the adhesive underneath, making it easier to pry it off. Here's a better look at the 5000 mAh battery. The old school vibrator motor is located on the bottom corner. To replace that, you have to just gently peel off the flex cable and lift out the vibrator motor from the compartment. This flex cable connects the main board to the subboard, and the screen flex cable is routed through an opening in the mid-frame. So if you needed to replace the screen, you'd have to remove the back plate, the camera bezel, and the screws on the top plastic cover and the cover itself. You'd have to lift up the graphite film, disconnect the battery cable and the screen cable, and then you'd have to pry the battery off, giving you access to the screen cable underneath, at which point you'd heat up the front of the phone where the screen is to loosen up the adhesive underneath, pry the old screen off, apply new adhesive, reapply the new screen, making sure you run the flex cable back through the opening in the mid-frame, and reassemble the phone. The flex cable for the volume keys and power button, as well as the fingerprint sensor, are both routed through openings in the mid-frame, so if you need to replace those, you'd have to pry the screen off as well. And the earpiece speaker is located on top, which is also held down with some adhesive. There's one more liquid damage indicator sticker, which is on the frame underneath the SIM tray. Now if your stylus ever got stuck in an enclosure, or for whatever reason you needed to open up that enclosure, you just apply some heat and pry this plastic portion off. For the repairability score on this phone, I give it a 5 out of 10. Now it's time to reassemble the phone. Once everything's back in place, apply new adhesive and reapply the back plate. Flip over the phone, power it on, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.